Welcome back to the Board Game Closet. I'm Tim.
I'm Rod.
And today we're taking a look at Mage Wars Academy, which is an offshoot of Mage Wars Arena. And this is a game from Arcane Wonders for 2 players, plays in about 30 minutes. And this copy was sent to us for review by Arcane Wonders. So let's take a look at what's inside the box.
Let's do it.
All right, so this is what you get inside the box. So Rod, why don't you tell us about the components?
Okay, so Mage Wars is basically a card game, kind of on the realm of like Magic a little bit, but better. Okay, so anyway, what you have here, one of the first things you have is that you have your damage counter and your mana counter, and it uses the wheels here to keep track of it, which is a nice little system, and does not, you don't lose track of where you're at. So like with a die, you might actually hit it or something. This keeps track of it real nice.
Or pick up and roll it.
Exactly. So during the game itself, you're going to have things that may happen to your character or to your characters that you've summoned, and things like spells that may happen to them. So they have counters for all that type of stuff, so you can easily keep track of what might be happening to your character. So like this one would say that he's weak. This one's got stagger. You've got hit points that you can put down. You know, he's taking 20 points of damage. He couldn't take that much normally. But anyway, it gives you damage and just different things like that. The other thing that they give you with it, of course, is the cards. The cards, one thing that's nice about these cards is the artwork is great. I mean, I think the artwork is fantastic. I really like the way that they portray them, the different magic and everything. And then, of course, the animals that you call or that you summoned are pretty cool. Another thing that comes with the game is the magic book. So with the magic book is where you're going to keep your cards. And what you'll do is throughout the game, you'll be pulling the cards, getting rid of them or putting them on the in front of you. That's basically saying that you have that spell or that animal in part of your group right now. So all in all, fantastic. I love this game in the sense of what you get with it. When it comes to the product itself, all the artwork, the box, everything, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of cards and components that come in this nice little small box right here. So, and it's a full game, so you technically don't need anything else, although they do have expansions for different characters and stuff.
So what do you feel about the instruction book?
All right, so the instruction booklet, I kind of cheated at first because they have a video tutorial on YouTube that I went and watched, which I recommend for anybody that's going to play a game like this, because it actually takes you through several turns. To me, it was a little bit slow in the video tutorial, but it did a great job of just going over all the different steps. But at first, it can be kind of overwhelming because it describes all the components first and tells you the setup of putting everything inside these spell books so that you're set up for the first game. So that might be a little bit overwhelming for some people. But you kind of need to know about each one of the items before it gets into the actual gameplay, which it does here in the game round. It just goes over it real quick, and if you do this step by step with somebody as you're playing your first 2 rounds, because your first 2 rounds you don't attack anyways, then it works out great. You'll both understand how the game plays, and then all you'll need is the stuff in the back, which is the glossary of special terms, which you will be using repeatedly throughout the game until you just get to know the terms and stuff like that.
The one thing that I would like to have seen that this did not come with would be just a separate glossary sheet for each one of us, because that way,
cheat sheet
exactly, because I found when we were playing, sometimes we both were kind of wanting to be looking at the same time.
Yeah,
and the game moves relatively fast, so if we had our own sheets on there, it probably would have been very, very nice and quick.
Yeah, it says 30 minutes. Your first game is probably going to be closer to an hour.
Yeah.
Just as you're going through all the little the keywords and stuff. But luckily they have this little reference sheet, so you just stick to it for your first couple rounds so that you can remember all the steps. As soon as you skip a step and you get used to skipping the step, you're going to end up forgetting the step.
So do you want to go ahead and go over the high overview of the game?
So the game is played over rounds, with the first 2 phases are played simultaneously by both players. And it's the reset phase where you just put everything back to so everything's back to active and everything, and all your tokens are flipped over. And then that's also when you get mana every turn. It doesn't go away. You only spend it when you cast the spells and stuff. So that's all reset. You gain the mana, and then it's the upkeep phase. And this is basically the phase where everything that has an upkeep on it does the upkeep. I won't go into that because that's a big part of the game. And then the action phase, and this is the meat of the game. And this, whoever has the initiative takes an action first. What they do is they activate one of their creatures, and they do an action with it. And as simple as that. They get one action, and that's what they do. All right? The only difference is your mage actually has a quick cast, which is a little token right here, and he can use that before or after any activation. So that means before or after he activates any creature on the board, you can do the quick cast and stuff. That's the only difference. So basically, the turns are just back and forth. I activate a creature, he activates creature, and then that's the whole game.
And the quick casts are always going to be spells, right? They're all
Yeah,
spells.
well, anything that has the little lightning marker up here at the top can be quick casted.
Right.
I'm sure that they have creatures that can be quick casted in some cases or something.
So basically, you have mana points. You spend them. That's what each of the wizards are going to have. And then
Each one of the cards has a mana cost up at the top of the card here in the corner, and that's what you pay when you actually put it out on the field.
So when you actually are playing, either do a spell or do whatever beasts that you have out in the field, and then go ahead and activate them and do things with them. Mm-hmm. So at times it could be that if you just sat there and just built your character up, your wizard, he could have 6 or 7 creatures out there, and he'll get 6 or 7 turns to go through with each one of those creatures, as long as it's not costing him mana points. All right, so what do you think about the game? Let's talk about it.
So to me, I think it's real quick. I played the other one, the Mage Wars Arena, and that's a much longer game. Like, it takes hours to get through one of those games because you're constantly moving around. It has an actual game board, and you're constantly moving around, and that part of the tactics is completely missing on here because you're all considered in one zone. But the bonus to that, though, is they put all the stats on the cards that you need for the other game, so all the components can be used in the other game as well. So I think that's pretty cool.
And one of the things I said is a 2-player game. It is and it isn't a 2-player game. So you can do, I guess you could do teams, right? You could do individual groups.
There are special rules for more players where you can play as teams, or you can do a free-for-all where you can get as many people as you have cards for, and then they all just go down and just start. Whoever's left at the end wins.
The gameplay for me, some stuff that I liked about it was that to me, this is what Magic should have been for me. Because with Magic, it's all about collecting cards and that type of thing, and buying your win, with money. But anyway, with this game, it's much different. I like the fact that you have all your spells available to you at any time. You just have to build up the mana on your character as you're going through it. The thing that's nice about it is even the highest level spell to cast or whatever, within a couple rounds, you're able to cast that spell. It doesn't take forever to the end of the game to make that happen. So you can right away actually start throwing some major stuff out there. So I mean, there's a lot, and I felt there was a lot of variation to it. I felt that there's a big difference between the two wizards, right? The two that we played. So that made it nice. So they're completely different. It's a completely different game. I like the game a lot because it has some really neat features to it.
Yeah, it's important to note too that they give you the setup books, so what you start off with, but they give you all these extra cards. So each of the mages has their own point values that they can build their spell books with. So you can completely customize it.
Right. So do you want to go ahead and?
Yeah. So at this point of the review, we usually do a dice rating. So we have 3 dice. We have green, which means we want you to go out there and buy the game right now because we loved it. White means we'd play it if anybody ever brought it out. And red means we hate it. You should just stay away from the game completely.
Gopher!
Here you go, sir.
Oh, nice.
Here you go, kind sir.
I'm sorry, kind sir. You ready?
And over.
2 greens.
Fantastic.
All right, Rod, why don't you tell us why you gave it a green?
Okay, so again, like I said before, I always like the concept of Magic in the sense that the Magic user battling the Magic user with your spell cards and everything. This one does it right, and I just think that It's a fast-playing game, which is nice also. The artwork was fantastic. I have very little to complain about the game. I think it's fantastic. There's nothing I can say bad about it, quite honestly.
I liked it that it stuck to the 30 minutes.
Right.
So when you actually get to know the game, you played in 30 minutes. And then the dice, you know, when you look at dice, and they're usually like a luck mechanic that's added to the game to randomize it. And this one, you build your own luck by, you know, building up your creatures so you get the better roll. So I think that's really nice.
Yeah. No,
So-
I think great quality. The whole thing. It's just I don't see anything wrong with it.
All right. Thanks for watching us. Remember to check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And as always,
Support your local hobby shop. Bye bye.
did he actually skip you?
I was worried if we did it too long, I'd actually go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.